See, because here's the thing. This is what I wanted to kind of say about this, is that this stuff is the stuff that's going to make you great is not exciting. It's actually mundane, and it's boring, and there's really, on a day-to-day basis, there's no evidence that you're getting better, whether you do it or not, and there's no evidence that you're getting worse if you do it or not. So the tough part of this is that's why it's good to see in a journal or in a schedule to see what you're doing every day, because you can kind of measure it. But these things are easy to do and they're easy not to do. So when you get up, like for the example, when Dalton suggested that he gets up every morning as soon as he gets out of bed and starts doing a bike, 10, 15-minute bike ride, it's a challenge, because it's not, like, you get up and you get on
uncomfortable.
A bike. It's not hard. Yeah. But it's not easy. And if he goes on that bike day 1, 2, 5, whatever day it is, if he goes on, the difference is going to make in his life as far as production or getting him close to his goal is pretty much zero. Doesn't move the needle at all. And if he doesn't do it, it doesn't move the needle at all. He won't know, he won't notice, and no one else will notice either. Mm-hmm. But this is the point of doing the slight edge, is that you will not notice it right away. But over time, all of a sudden, it's like working out, right? When a kid works out over and over and over and doesn't see results, but then all of a sudden, his mom says, "Oh, your shoulders are getting pretty big," or you lost all your fluff. And all of a sudden, there's a little bit of pride, and you go, "Oh, okay, that was 2 months of work, and that's what happened." So that's what's important about creating daily habits, is they're easy to do, they're just as easy not to do, and they're not something significant that on a daily basis that people are going to notice that you did anything, and neither will you. Yeah. So that's what makes it hard.
Well, we started talking today about the Whoop thing and how there's nice metrics you can look at, right? There's no metrics for that, right? There's no metrics for, that type of mental conditioning that you're doing. So you get up every morning, and you do, 10 minutes on the bike, or a little like 10-minute Tabata or HIIT or whatever to start the day. Yeah. You can't measure anything there. No. There's nothing that you can measure that can gauge your improvement over time with that. But what you're going to notice is that it becomes much easier over time to do things that are hard that you don't want to do, because now you've practiced doing it, right? Yeah. And there isn't something you can see. You're not going to see it in the mirror that you can handle difficult things better. There's nothing that you can see that's going to show you're doing that or getting better at it until you're faced with something that's actually a big deal or really difficult to do. And it just becomes a no factor for you because you have some experience doing hard things, and that's one thing that's really important in terms of, how to structure your goals, for example, right? Like you said, where do you want to be? So for any kid, I know you do this with Charlie, but for any other kid, you have your end point in mind, right? And then you're talking about reverse engineering. You work backwards to, okay, what's a goal I could have, maybe a year before that, 2 years before that, maybe a year before that. And you work all the way back to where you are today. And then you can start to put those things in place like Charlie did. What can I do right now? What things that I have in my control right now can I do that will make a difference to the next closest goal that I just wrote down, right? Yep. And that's how you can structure it. That's an actual, a tangible way that any kid can do that. Go get a book that has some lined paper in it. Say, okay, where do I want to be in 10 years? Where do I want to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be in 3 years? Where do I want to be in a year? And then where am I today? Yep. And then you can start to put little things in place. And, kids, especially now when they're 14, 15, you have an idea of things that you need to be doing. You're not lost. There's certain things that you can be doing. And if you don't really know, then you have resources that you could ask to get you started, right? Yeah. So that's a really good way of putting it, reverse engineer and create a structure for yourself so that you can build to whatever it is that you're looking to get, whether it's hockey or anything really.